Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash, Season 9. So we are at around the halfway point roughly of November, might be right smack bang in the middle of it, just depending on when I decide to upload this video or get around to uploading it. And while The Flash is still, I guess at the very least, just over 2 months away from coming back to our screens, for the very last time with the premiere of its ninth and final season, it could be longer, we could be waiting until February or March, who knows. Our minds are still trying to piece together what is actually going down in this final season. Of course, we know of the various setup from last season's ending for a couple of things like the blue crystal in the future in the year 2049, and also just the stuff that was going on with Caitlin and her search and desire to bring back Frost, which might have worked, but in a sort of twisted kind of way. That's still, a wait and find out. But we have, of course, also gotten some stuff from set from the filming of earlier episodes in Season 9 up to about Episode 5, which I guess is pretty much almost at the halfway point, so not ridiculously early. Now, one of the prominent catches from this set filming was that of Red Death making their debut on the show after a few years of speculation from fans and viewers as to whether that would ever actually happen or if it was just some random tease that was never gonna prosper on screen. Now, while we are assuming that it is going to be a multiversal situation, that's probably the best way to put it, with that character, just based off the fact that we don't really think they would make the Earth Prime Batwoman or Ryan Wilder a villain, and also the fact we did end up seeing both of those characters on set at the same time, some are just wondering exactly how this Red Death character became Red Death and whether it's just going to be a slightly altered take on the comics and just replacing Batman with Batwoman, or maybe altering it in more ways with even more characters, but still keeping it somewhat the same at the same time, if that makes sense. And maybe something from set may hint at that, as well as the geographical locations of some actors may have helped put something together if it's a possibility, and that's what we're going to be going over in this video for the most part. So as I have said, there have been a couple of different times that they have filmed this Red Death stuff out in public for a couple of different episodes. I think 3 maybe, or at least 2. So there have been a few different drops of photos from said filming, and initially I missed a couple of photos that were actually pretty damn interesting ones and sort of, well, I don't want to say sort of, but potentially tie into the Red Death story in some way without going too far, and those are these ones here. So as you can see on screen, we have Batwoman on the left. I think that might be the stunt person for Red Death in the middle there, but then also Javicia Leslie on the right. She's not in the Batwoman suit, that's a stunt double. So that Javicia Leslie on the right is an interesting one because you might be looking at her and going, what's going on there? That's a bit different. So in the comics, it's very important to remember that when Bruce Wayne becomes Red Death and does this whole merging process with Barry Allen in order to become Red Death, his face is sort of messed up and scarred due to it. He doesn't just get to stay looking like Bruce Wayne, he gets sort of messed up from it. And that's what we could be seeing here in these photos. So we do get the front view from that initial photo I showed you right here with Javicia Leslie. It's a bit blurry, so you can't really see exactly what's going on with the face. You can see the streak there on her left side, our right, but her left. And as you can see from this photo here, it goes all the way back. So it's like a big, long piece of her hair that's completely gone white. In that initial photo, it sort of looks like a blonde color. But in this one, it's white. Maybe it goes from blonde to white. I'm not too sure if it's two different colors. But in the second photo, it looks white. In the initial photo, it looks blonde. So I'm going to say it's white just because the second photo is clearer. So it does make you wonder, is this evidence that emerged between this other Earth's Ryan Wilder and a speedster went down in order for her to become Red Death? And, it's left her with some visible reminders of that merge. I mean, it would seem so, but I do think they wanted to, if that's the case, they wanted to limit the over-the-top visible issues and reminders that Red Death, or, in this case, Ryan Wilder has from the merge. So they've just done some, some stuff with her hair and stuff like that. In that initial first photo, for some reason, I feel like she's wearing a contact lens on her left eye, our right, but her left. And there might be some dark shading and stuff like that to make it seem like the left side of her face, maybe body, is a bit weird because of it. But it's really hard to tell with these photos, so I'm not going to, cement that as a thought. But if this merge is a thing, does she just merge with Barry Allen? So just her Earth's Barry Allen, that's maybe why she knows to hunt Barry Allen on this Earth? Or is it potentially another speedster? Well, it could easily just be Barry, just to make things easier, more simple. And even if they want to do a flashback to when she did it, they can just use Grant Gustin. That just seems like the easy way to do it. It's not the most interesting way to do it because you can mix it up, but it's definitely the easiest way to go about things, especially if it's like a 10-second scene on screen. obviously you'd go down that route, sorry, or not even bother with it. But one thing of interest is that Violet Bean, who played Jesse Quick in previous seasons of The Flash, is based in Vancouver at the moment. Now, it's not specifically for The Flash, so don't think that. She is filming either a movie or TV series. I think it's a TV series. It's called Career Opportunities in Murder and Mayhem. So quite the mouthful. I think it might be a Disney Plus show or a Hulu show, something like that. But yeah, that's why she's in Vancouver. However, there was a photo of her posted to Instagram of herself, Javicia Leslie, who plays Batwoman in Red Death, as well as Candice Patton, who plays Iris in The Flash. Now, they weren't on set together. I think they were out having drinks or having dinner or something like that, just hanging out. Now, of course, this does not confirm anything at all. Definitely don't jump to conclusions that Violet Bean is in The Flash Season 9 or whatever it is. But it could potentially open the door for a quick cameo as the alternate Jesse Quick, or Jesse Chambers potentially, from Red Death's Earth in the multiverse, and that she is either killed for her speed or she has merged with that Earth's Ryan Wilder in order to create the Red Death. I think that would be a pretty damn cool way to mix things up while keeping it somewhat similar to the comics at the same time. And also, bonus points, you get to involve Violet Bean and Jesse Quick in the final season of the show in some way, when maybe originally you didn't think that would be possible just because, one, there's limited episodes, but also just the storyline, would she be able to be folded in, stuff like that. This would be a cool way to include her without, going out of your way storyline-wise to include Jesse. Like, this is just a quick swap that, I think fans would like. And even if they didn't want to do the whole merging or killing and just have it that Red Death is, created in some other way with that Earth's Ryan Wilder, she just gets speed in another manner, like, creates it herself, steals plans, some sort of velocity formula thing, maybe what happened with Mina Darwan last, like something like that. If they don't want to do the killing and the merging, that's fine. But they could have it that Red Death has gone around the other Earths in the multiverse trying to kill other speedsters on other Earths, and that's how you could include, maybe not an appearance by Jesse Quick. I mean, that would be like the best situation possible if they want to go down that route, but maybe not an appearance by Jesse Quick and even other speedsters from the past in the show, maybe even like an Accelerated Man or something, but just to include them in the story so she can rattle off some names of speedsters that she's encountered and either killed or taken their speed or just encountered in general. That's what they could do in the show, though. That would be like in the most minimal way possible of doing it. Saying, oh, here's my 10 top speedsters I've killed. I'm not going to show you footage of me killing them because I'm just telling you, I'm not a walking TV screen. Now, they have said that there's going to be a lot of familiar faces coming back for this final season, but we don't know, on the level of, fan love, if that's the best way to put it. Are they fan favorites or are they just familiar faces and, how many of them and, like what's the quality of those returns and stuff like that. We know there's some people coming back which people are excited about, but then we've seen some others which people necessarily wouldn't have been listing off to come back. So it's hard to get a grasp of the consistency in regards to who's coming back and who isn't. That's still a wait and find out. But I mean, if Violet Bean is up there filming, it's not a hard one. You don't have to pay for her to fly or anything like that. You just have to make sure she has a free day that she can come over and film for The Flash. So she's based there. So that definitely, I think, increases the possibilities of her showing up. Now, it does appear that the Red Death story arc potentially does end in episode 5 of season 9. Apparently, episode 6 is a bottle episode, so a very contained storyline. Doesn't mean it's filler necessarily, but there won't be any public filming by the sounds of it. So a contained episode, most likely in Star Labs, but then again, it could be something else as well. But then again, that Allegra episode from last season was a bottle episode with her in the in the newspaper room, or the Central City Citizen office and stuff like that. But that same episode, we had Barry going to Lian Yu and the Mina Darwan stuff included in that as well. And that was a bottle episode. So doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be nothing, but the main storyline is going to be very contained in one area. So just keep that in mind. But maybe it's dealing with the fallout of the Red Death stuff. We don't know. Depends how tumultuous and how deadly Red Death's time in Central City is. Now, my expectations for the Red Death storyline, I wouldn't say are incredibly high because I'm not exactly sure how it goes about things. We know they're not the main villain. So are they going to try and make things a bit toned down because they don't want her to be this big of a threat? And then the threat after her, which maybe might be seen as the main villain for the season, isn't weaker in comparison. I'm not too sure how they're going to go about things. I'm just hoping that the multiverse aspect is cool if that's what's included, and maybe it doesn't focus too much on wrapping up Batwoman's story, because that's a concern that I think a lot of people have, is that this storyline is only being written to focus on writing out Batwoman as a character rather than doing Red Death and being a part of the Flash's final season. And I understand those concerns. If that's the case, I wouldn't be too happy, because it's called The Flash. It's not called Batwoman the show. So I'd be a bit annoyed if that's the main focus, but that's the wait and find out. I don't think you should have, assume that's what's going to happen, because nothing from set screams that out outside of the fact that Batwoman's going to be showing up, and then of course that Red Death is Ron Wilder from another Earth. But that's the way they wanted to work, and I think it makes sense in regards to the context of the Arrowverse that that's who would be Red Death. And I don't think they're going to absorb it too much in the closing off Batwoman as a show. I don't think that's going to be the case. There might just be some dialogue chucked here and there, and we don't know, or it doesn't look like any other characters from the Batwoman show are appearing in this portion of the season. So you can't really close off Batwoman without all those characters. You can just maybe close off the actual character of Ryan Wilder in some sort of way, but that's a wait and find out. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on all this stuff. Would you like to see Jesse Quick be included in this way? Do you think that's what's happening with Red Death and all that stuff? Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments. Or do you think it's a completely different path they're going down? I'm always curious to read. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.